Cohort X, baby. My name is Malcolm Jamal King. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. I graduated from Hampton University in 2009. I'm a member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, initiated in fall of 2009. Psi Lambda Lambda, I'm the ace dog to #1. What's going on with you all? And I am at Young Achievers Math and Science Pilot School. I'm a 7th grade ELA resident. Our organization is based on manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. So it's really important for me, especially because as a man, I'm always thinking about ways that I try to lead children towards becoming those role models, those citizens that can be good participants inside our society, and then being able to teach them to overcome some of these obstacles. So that's our perseverance cardinal principle, and it's scholarship about them really making sure that they're going to be striving towards being better students or really learning the things that's necessary. And then uplift is really, it doesn't mean anything for us to go through this entire thing without doing something to help someone else. So that's kind of why I feel like I'm in education right now. Some of my earliest role models were Omega men. They were some of the people that were strongly influential in my life, and they always were telling me to be better, to go to college, to kind of get that experience, and also be able to do some great service in the process. So it's been an awesome opportunity for me to be a part of it, because I'm able to put some of the things I love together, where that's education and community service, and also being able to now take that the next step further and show some of the youth how they can be later on in their lives. I was an English major, so lots of, at Hampton I was the English major, so English majors are these, not nerds, but they're a little bit cooler swag, so they're going to be the ones that will hang out in the library. I didn't know I wanted to teach because for a long time I was fighting it. My grandmother was a teacher, my grandfather was a teacher, and I have several educators inside of my family, but up until maybe even a little bit to the second semester of senior year, I wasn't going to teach. But I'd always been doing a lot of things in education on the side. So it was while I was working at a program in 2007 called Crossroads for Kids. This student named Shaquille Cox, he was one of the first students to ever really, I guess, kind of touch me in a way that meant something to me. He had somebody to believe in him, and that was the first time that he was really just taking down his wall in his front of, I'm a tough kid, and saying, I appreciate that you care about me as a person and as a student, and it just really meant a lot to me. So he's kind of who every time I've ever had to write a personal statement, he's the student I talk about. And you know, that was in 2007, and we're in 2013, so it's just ironic who ends up staying with you, because other people might have said that Shaquille was a troubled student, but I don't ever really believe that. I had a lot of African-American female teachers, but the first African-American male teacher I had was at Hampton University. His name was Dr. Lauren A. Foster. He's the first first black male teacher I had, and he became my mentor. He was somebody that I looked to as an example for my own life. About the racial discrepancies between the amount of students of color that are in the Boston public school system and the kinds of educators that are teaching them, and it's not necessarily, I think it's the 38% that are actually teachers of color. I'm not upset about it, but I'm troubled by it, because I want my students to have more positive role models that look like them. Oftentimes in the media, they get a lot of negative iterations of people of color, and they don't have people to look up to. So some of my students might share things with me like, hey, mister, I don't even worry about this school stuff because I'm either going to go to the NBA or I'm going to be a rapper. And there was no in between there. They think that teachers are not going to be somebody that they would look up to. And if we saw more people of color inside of the workforce for BPS and for national public schooling everywhere, like, just that would be something that would help students to know oh wow, this is something that I can do as a viable option for my future, or maybe I can think about other things that I can do with myself. It's not going to be these hard lines. And if they saw more people that were able to encourage them and know the kinds of struggles that they're coming from, because I also went to a public school, then I think that that helps me to connect to my students a little bit better. I grew up in the Atlanta public school system, so I remember being in a school where there was an obvious divide between the students who wanted to go to college and the students who might not ever make it outside of our neighborhoods. Incorporate the language of power and the culture of power into who you are without having it overtake your entire being, your entire character, but really knowing that every now and again I am going to have to put on the suit, I am going to have to speak articulately, and then I can go back and chill with my boys and be, you know, Malcolm, but at the end of the day I need the kids to call me Mr. King, because I need them to know that that's part of how I survive in this society, especially in an economy like this, especially in a society like this that doesn't always think the best about our students. We have to teach students how to make people think the best about them, regardless of where they come from. This is what it looks like to be a strong black man. This is what it's like to be a successful person in America. And that's what I'm all about.